Great, so thank you very much for the introduction and for introducing the name of our institute, usually referred to by its German acronym, ERWAG. So this is a little bit of an excursion because ERWAG is a partner institution to the EPFL. It's one of the 6 institutions of the ETH domain. And because many people in the room may not have heard too much about us, I want to give you a quick snapshot of what we look like. And then I'm just going to present 2 sort of teasers. One is a collaborative research example, and the other a collaborative teaching example. And then finally, give you a picture of what I think of as the SDGs as a framework for research collaboration. So here is ERWAG at a glance. We have 2 locations, one in Dubendorf, that's the most of the buildings here, and one rather more beautiful in the shores of Lake Luzern, that's Kastanenbaum. You can read much more about us on our website and annual report. What you see there is that ERWAG is a fairly academic institution. We have about 200 scientific staff, and of those, roughly 30 hold a professorial title. Some are joint appointments with the ETH Zurich, EPFL, cantonal universities, and some are our own research staff who have adjunct appointments at here or at the ETH Zurich. So we also have vocational education. We have 24 apprentices working with us and about 150 doctoral students. So for the overall staff of the research laboratory, about 1/5 are doctoral students. And that makes it a very different kind of atmosphere than you have in most national labs. It's a very youthful, energetic, curious, and creative atmosphere. Our output is rather academic looking, a lot of peer-reviewed publications, but also many other types of outputs, and you'll see some of those in a minute. So here is the research example. This is a collaboration between Dr. Tim Julian. He's a research group leader with us at ERWAG and is also affiliated with the Swiss Tropical and Public Health Institute, and Professor Tamar Cohn here in the INEC school. And the interest here is to look at hygiene, and especially at pathogens transfer by the skin, by the hands. So if you come into contact, your hands come into contact with contaminated water, how much of the pathogen load of that water ends up staying on your hands? And once the pathogen load is on your hands, very unfortunately, it could also end up in your mouth or in your nose or in your eyes, leading to disease. And what was done here was to actually expose skin to virus-containing water, looking at how much of the virus was maintained on the skin. And what you see is there's a certain amount maintained on the skin that's fairly constant, that's actually absorbed to the skin. But then as there's more and more of the water left on the skin that has the virus in it, again, the virus load increases. So this is work that was published in the scientific literature, but it can also be used in guidance for aid agencies on the ground. The example of the teaching collaboration is with the MOOCs, the massive open online courses. This is I think, very successful program, a series on sanitation, water, and solid waste for development that has been conducted since about the early 2014 to today in the MOOC studios here at EPFL. What you see is a very rapid growth in the number of enrolled students, up to 85,000 today. Of those, roughly 60,000 are active, that is really participating and using the modules, not just registering, and 10,000 have completed the courses. What you find is that for these courses, many of the students who are taking them are not students in real life. They're professionals in real life. They work for municipal agencies, they might work for consulting firms, and maybe they're interested in just a couple of the modules and not the whole course. And I think that's one of the reasons that not as many complete the course as are active in it. But there are roughly 1,000 new students starting every month, and 60% of the participants are from low and middle income countries in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. So I think that's a very successful outreach. I know of at least a few examples of students who have ended up coming to EPFL who were first experienced the contact with EPFL through this MOOC series. So I mentioned SDG 6 and EVOG as a Water Research Institute of the ETH domain. It's an obvious natural fit with SDG 6. But we heard earlier from our speakers that the SDGs are interconnected and interlinked. And in fact, if you look through EVOG's portfolio, you see many, many connections with the SDGs. You already saw the one on health. You already saw that's number 3. You saw number 4 on education. That's the MOOCs. This is an example sort of strictly in the water field of a water treatment technology. And that same technology is actually used in wastewater reuse to recover nutrients, and that would then link to sustainable consumption and production. We do a lot of work looking at the environment with regard to biological diversity and ecosystems, aquatic ecosystems, that's number 14. And then number 13, and protecting the planet, is looking at using lakes for heat storage, and also for clean energy, building biofuels. And finally, for relieving hunger, a project to use black soldier flies to produce food for animals from waste material. So there's really a lot going on. I myself, I have to say, am not very often at EPFL. I come more for special events and parties, and I guess I'm going to get a bottle of wine in just a minute. But I think there's a lot of opportunity for collaboration. You're more than welcome to get in contact with me, and I will connect you up with the right people at EVOG. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Herring.